A man should never be your plan. Ever. Should never be the pinnacle of your life. Being attached from one, getting money from one, getting sex from one. A man should never be your plan. What you have to understand is that the patriarchy has conditioned these young boys who grow up into men to become predators. It starts really young. It trickles into their, adolescent years up until their preteen, teenagers, and then young men. So by the time they are teenagers and in their early 20s, they are probably at their best when it comes to manipulation tactics. When you set yourself up to be put in a situation where you are operating in desperation, you will be the prey of a predator. I advocate for you all to be financially stable, have your own apartment, your own car, if that's something that you need in your life. I personally don't have a car because it wouldn't be a necessity to me. I live in an area where public transportation and Lyft and Uber is readily available, so it ain't no thing to me. But you need to make sure that you have the basic necessities in life, and not even only just the basic necessities, but you need to make sure that you're providing a comfortable lifestyle for yourself. So when you're out here and you're dating particular kind of men, can't nobody just like really like sweep you off of your feet because and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be impressed if you are impressed. I'm saying that you should provide a lifestyle for yourself that's so comfortable, even if a man does come with all of the things. You're impressed, but it's a quiet kind of thing, right? You're not jumping for joy because you've already provided this lifestyle for yourself. And him incorporating whatever value he wants to add into your life would just be a bonus. So you will be appreciative, but you wouldn't be like head over heels. It would be like a walk in the park. But when you don't have these particular things in order, you are setting yourself up for predators to come and prey on you. Any amount of instability, financially, mentally, emotionally, socially, men can smell that shit on you. And they will take full advantage if you allow them. There is a woman currently, Isis. Her name is the new trophy wife. And she put out a video explaining how her husband, 20 years her senior, has raped both of their daughters. And they share these daughters together. Like, those are his kids. He raped both of his very young daughters, both 2 and 4. The thing about it is, and I didn't catch this, but there's a video that she had put out where she was explaining how in the beginning of like meeting him, he raped her about like 4 times. And she ignored it. And I'm thinking to myself, if you knew he was capable of doing that to you, surely you would think he would be a threat to a child or to be around children. I'm not going to punch down on her because I know what it's like to be in a desperate situation financially, and I feel like that's where she was coming from. But I also don't have kids. And I wouldn't even allow anybody around my niece and my nephew like that, to be honest with you. Not without my supervision. 24/7. No. So the fact that she had, before they had the 2 girls together, she had 2 young boys. In total is 4 of them. But she had 2 young boys, and she was in 2 relationships in 1 year. Within 1 year, she had 2 unknown men around her children and ended up getting married to her now husband, or soon to be ex-husband, I don't know. She broke up with him after finding out that he was touching both of them. This woman has used her platform to punch down on black women. She has used her platform to assimilate to this pick me lifestyle of how to keep a man, how to maintain one, how to look a particular kind of way, and blah, blah, blah. And listen, I'm the first to say, like, I don't mind women getting online and talking about, like, how to keep yourself up as far as aesthetics is concerned, whether it's skincare, clothing, health and wellness, exercise, da da da. I don't mind that. But the minute that y'all start talking about things in order to appease and keep people in your life, like, that's where you got me thrown off. Because it's basic and common knowledge that you should obviously, keep yourself up to remain attractive to the person that you've gotten with. But to be making full videos, like video after video after video after video, trying to coach and tell women about how to keep these same niggas, is just like, at one point, do you say, I'm doing this for myself? Because it hit different when you're doing it for yourself. Whether you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, get your skin together, get your clothing right, experiment with different hairstyles, like, it hits different when you're doing it for yourself. Because at any point, if a man was to ever even if you did make all of these changes, and at any point this man didn't approve and made that known, whether it be through his actions or through his words, you would instantly crumble. That's why you have to do shit for yourself. You have to love on yourself. You have to affirm yourself. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't look out for those qualities when dealing with a person, because I say it like this, right? I know I'm that bitch. Off the rip, I know. My standard is, even though I don't need a nigga to tell me that every day, I still wouldn't date a man who wouldn't naturally want to affirm me. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's something that's already in him. Like, he already feel like, this is my woman. Of course I don't mind complimenting her, or, helping her out, or whatever it may be. Of course I don't mind. I like a man who naturally does that. I don't like when people do things because they feel like they're obligated to do it. You ain't obligated to do a motherfucking thing here. If you're not naturally compelled to be generous towards me, pay me a compliment, whatever it is, like, just don't. Like, because there's somebody who definitely will. But back to Isis. Is a very unfortunate situation for her and her daughters. And, I wish all of that healing, because the body never forgets. And they're very young now. So I'm not even, the 4-year-old may know what happened, because I was about 5, 6 when what happened to me happened, when the sexual assault happened to me. So she probably, but that 2-year-old, I don't know. But the body never remembers. The body always keeps score. So hopefully psychologically they can get the help that they need in order to hopefully they can get the help that they need. And it's crazy. I mean, I'm just at a loss for words, because I'm just like, how could you do that to you? And it's just like, I'm not going to even say, oh, it's one thing, because all of that shit is wrong. But your own fucking child, my nigga? You will rape your own fucking child? And again, kudos for her for getting her and her children checked and out of that situation immediately. But she was operating from a place of desperation. She had went ahead and it's just a lot. you all are gonna have to go on her page to look at her last video. I married a monster on her page. The page is the new trophy wife, and it's the last video she posted. She probably got a crazy amount of views right now. It's a lot of people giving their opinion on it, and I'm just saying to myself, like, all the signs were there, but at the same time, I personally know there were situations with guys that I've dealt with where I clearly seen the predatory nature in them towards me as well, or them doing things that were disrespectful that I chose to ignore. And we as women are constantly told to forgive, 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 and to have all of this empathy and all of this other kind of shit, but we're not ever told to put ourselves first. So this is why I'm telling you all, you have to put yourself first. Your end goal in life should never be a fucking man. I don't give a fuck if you do want somebody in your life to help you, kick up your feet and have you live the comfortable lifestyle that you feel like you deserve. That's great, but you gotta be in your own fucking bag. Because should that situation get sticky, or should it become violent or whatever, manipulative, you need to shore way the fuck out. You need a place of refuge for you to go back to get away from that nigga. Because a lot of women like her could be stuck in a situation where you're living with somebody, whether they be a boyfriend or whether they be a husband, and either they stop paying for shit, kick you out, whatever. You got to make sure that you always have your own. You got it, because these niggas will do bum ass shit and leave you in a fucked up situation. But really, you left yourself up in a fucked up situation because you didn't realize, like, I need to prioritize my own stability before I can be worried about somebody else trying to create a lifestyle for me. Create your own fucking lifestyle. And I promise you, it hits different. I'm not saying that you shouldn't exclusively date affluent men who could afford to take you on the vacations, buy you the bag, and all of this other kind of different shit. But make sure that shit matches his character. Make sure that he has a good rapport with the different kind of people in his life. Make sure that he has respect for women, respect for himself. Make sure that you're watching the fuck out of him carefully and how he handles situations. Is he slow to anger? Does he actually have conflict resolution? What is his self-talk like? If I knew all of this, listen, if we all knew better, we would do better. So I'm giving grace to this woman. I'm going to give her grace. But it's an unfortunate situation. Like, to me, when it comes to sexual assault, rape, all of this other kind of different stuff, that should be generational, bro. That should be generational. To perform that shit on your own kids is just like a whole nother level of just psychopathy. Like, nigga, you're different. You different, you weird, and you need to be locked the fuck up. Because one of us definitely would have been if it was mine. For shit sure. If you heard my videos in the past, you know. Part of the reason why I don't want to have kids is because of shit like this. Because you just never know with a nigga. You never know. A nigga touching his own fucking kids, bro. We really gotta, and this is why I say, like, I take the advice from like the Shira Sevens and all that. I take all of that shit with a grain of salt. There is a lot of shit
that I agree with as it pertains to those women, but it's a lot of shit that I don't. Everything comes at a cost. Even Shira, if you've been listening to her for a while, or if you went back and listened to the different stories and shit like that that she's talked about as it pertains to her husband and shit like that. Oh, trust me, it cost her. It came at a cost. It came at a cost, and the cost was disrespect and probably some other shit that we don't know about. You got to remember, people only tell you what they want to tell you on this app or any other app. People tell you what they want to tell you on this motherfucker. So I'm not saying that she wasn't completely honest. I'm just saying sometimes it should be a little bit more sticky than people lead on. Even me, there's certain shit that I'm not going to get on this app and say as it pertains to my personal life. I'm very open and honest and candid and shit like that. But y'all don't need to be all deep down in my business. Not like that. I don't need no think pieces about me. No, thank you. Not that anybody would give a fuck anyway, but like, I don't need no think pieces about me. But y'all know I talk about, you know, womanhood here, and a part of that is providing a safe place for yourself, both internally and externally, and not allowing a man to come and infiltrate what the fuck you built. You shouldn't even be clocking wanting to date somebody seriously until you got your own shit. It's real life grown people out here without a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, wondering about when the next time they gonna get their next piece of dick or next piece of pussy. Ain't that pathetic? Ain't it? But that's the world that we live in. People just be wanting to be in tune with warm bodies. You ain't even. And the thing, like I said, like, we all live and learn, right? This is only our first go round on this shit. So, like I said, I extend a lot of grace with people, period, because I know there was certain times in my life where I was stupid, foolish, I was a piece of shit towards people, all kinds of shit. I'm definitely better now, but I don't sit and cast stones at anybody because, like I said, I got a past. I say a lot of this shit like as a cautionary tale as it pertains to like me and my decisions, because when you listening to, you know, us women who are older and experienced and we've lived life and shit like that, we're not saying this to prevent you from having a relationship with niggas. We're saying this from a place of love and true care and concern. It's wicked out here. One of the sayings that I love the most is like, even good people do bad things. Even good people do bad things. And the one thing about the average human being, if you give them an opportunity to leverage their power, they will. But you as a person, you got to be willing to see what they're willing to do when you're weak. When you're at your weakest, what kind of behavior will people show you? I've seen it firsthand. At my lowest, I've seen people do me grit. You think I'm tripping on that? Cause I ain't never met a motherfucker who has ever done me grit that's in a better situation in life. I'm not looking at their names in no motherfucking headlines. I'm not running into them at the bank. Um, I'm not hearing about them through the grapevine, through social media, about how they're doing so amazing. Like, I'm not coming across their merch, the different products that they could be selling, a business. I'm not I'm not in tune. I'm not hearing any great news about how somebody is making these amazing strides that has ever did me wrong. And I say that because I'm a very imperfect person, but I have a very genuine spirit. I really do. I mean well in all areas in life. I really do mean well. Even if I may not come off a particular kind of way, I mean well. And my creator knows my spirit. For sure. So no, you can't think you gonna cross me and you ain't gonna get dealt with. It's gonna happen every time. It's gonna happen. I'm well protected. I am very well protected. But with me being well protected, I gotta protect my goddamn self. And I gotta keep myself out of bullshit. Because my guardian angels, my creator, my ancestors, all of that great vibrational energy that's keeping me out of harm's way, I need to give my gratitude back by taking care of me as a testament of me actually being appreciative for having those sources in my life. Because they could be busy off doing something else, watching over someone else. But they're here with me, making sure I'm straight, making sure I'm good. So I make sure to pay it forward with me. And when I interact with other people, I pay it forward to them. I'm all about paying forward kindness and having grace for people. I'm not gonna allow anybody to run over me. But y'all get what I'm saying. But to my ladies, y'all gotta be careful. Y'all gotta be careful. I don't want to be looking at nobody's name in no headline. I don't I don't want any of y'all to experience homelessness at the expense of moving in with the wrong kind of nigga. I don't want you all to have to experience any physical, emotional, or mental abuse when it comes to these goofies who ain't got their fucking thinking cap on right. I want you to be safe. And we all got blind spots. We all got blind spots. Like I told y'all in the beginning, these motherfuckers, a lot of these motherfuckers have been trained since birth to go out here and hunt on prey and sniff out the weakest motherfucking link. So if you know that you're in an environment full of predators, you gotta become one. And I'm not saying you gotta act that out, but mentally, you gotta think like one. A lot of people don't understand that's exactly what the Steve Harvey book was all about. It never said go out here and act like these niggas. It just think like one. Think. Put yourself in their shoes. How would they act towards you? So you can have a better defense. You got to have a good, what they say, you got to have a good offense to have a better defense. So how you can see, so how you could better manage how they're going to act towards you. Did that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you got to have a good offense to have a better defense. So you can think about how the predators are going to approach you so that you can have a good counter when they approach and deal with them accordingly. That sounded better. There you go. There you go. But yeah, this everything come at a cost, yo. Ain't nothing free. Ain't nothing free. Please be careful, y'all. I understand that she put that story out to warn women, and basically, come out and say, like, y'all, I was wrong. As much as I was on here and I was trying to teach y'all, like, how to how to be a woman, or be the right kind of woman towards these dudes and stuff like that. Like, this ended up being the same kind of man that would violate not only me but my children. And I'm glad, instead of her keeping it to herself, she said, you know what, I'm gonna put this out there because I think people deserve to hear the truth. I'm telling y'all, this pick me culture, this pick me culture is dangerous. Pick your fucking self. You should be the number one priority in your life. I'm not saying that you can't prioritize somebody else, but you need to prioritize you before anybody else. Prioritize your well-being, your health, your aesthetic, all of that shit. I tell y'all all the time, you literally lack nothing. All of what you need will always be inside you. But you got to understand, in a world full of predators, you got to think like one too. Because if you don't, you're going to end up like this girl with these 4 kids, who's now going to have to figure out how she's going to have to start her life over. And if she could even sustain a presence online, because I'm pretty sure she made a substantial amount of money from that. I'm pretty sure she feels like my whole brand is a lie. It's very unfortunate. I hate that she had to go through it this way to realize, like, what she's doing is not okay. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, like, yo, it's okay to keep yourself up for your partner and stuff like that, to, keep the mystique and keep the attraction and everything, blah blah blah. That's fine. But we shouldn't be making whole ass videos centering niggas. You need to center yourself. Because I promise you, when you center yourself and you're living authentically, and you claim your own style and you do what's good for you, you will attract people who will naturally appreciate that. I told y'all, I don't want anybody feeling obligated to do a motherfucking thing for me. Not pay me a compliment, not pay my bills, not do a motherfucking thing. I want you to want to do that shit naturally because you appreciate me as a person. And if it ain't that, I don't want it. Because I know what it's like to have a nigga feeling like he got to be obligated to do something, and how that nigga will switch up on you in a heartbeat as soon as you start acting outside of the idea of what he wants you to be. Niggas will violate you every single time you give them a chance. I'll post a video in the comment section of her explaining her situation. Because I think you all should check it out. I think that you might could learn from it. And if you're going over there, just be kind, right? Be kind. If you leaving anything in her comment section, don't try to berate her. She's going through a very tough time right now. And I think that even in her desperation of feeling like, I need to hook a man, and this is why you shouldn't live vicariously through influencers, because she explained several times how she got you know, her advice from Shira 7, and this is why. You gotta take. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take advice from Shira 7. I'm saying that you gotta take shit with a grain of salt and apply it where necessary. But living with 2 strange men within a year around kids is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It is crazy. And unfortunately, 2 of them have had to pay for it that we know of. 2 of them have had to pay for it. So again, I'll put the link in my description somewhere or in the comment section. And like I said, go over there and get that girl loving light. She going through a tough time right now. She gonna have to rebuild to figure stuff out. And the last thing she need is somebody telling her all of what she is. You know? All right, y'all. Y'all do what y'all want. I'm gonna do what I will. I'll talk to y'all later.